While many of us may know one or two people who seem to thrive on conflict, that isn't the case for a lot of us. And this fear of conflict can often stop us from living our lives because it can happen if we put ourselves out there, and so we don't put ourselves out there. And maybe it's time to knock that off. So taking full responsibility for your own well-being. Maybe thinking about a conflict that you've been in or a situation where you're afraid there might be a conflict, and allow yourself to get in touch with that fear, that feeling. Even though I'm afraid of conflict, I choose to love and accept myself anyway. Even though I'm afraid of conflict, I choose to love and honor myself anyway. Even though I'm afraid of conflict, I don't like it when people are mad at me. I don't like it when people raise their voices. And so I avoid a lot of situations. And even though I'm afraid of conflict, I choose to deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. And maybe some of the people who contributed to this fear. All this fear of conflict. All this fear of conflict. This fear of people being mad at me. This fear of people yelling at me. This fear that I'll be hurt. And so I play it safe. And I avoid all kinds of situations where there might be a potential benefit, but there's also the risk of conflict. And I don't think I can handle it. Because maybe I haven't handled it well in the past. Maybe I felt defeated. Maybe I felt crushed. And why on earth would I want to put myself in that situation again? Except that I'm missing out on life. I'd rather live my life and risk conflict than live in a sheltered area. I'm clearing this fear. I've always handled it in the past. Maybe not as well as I would have liked. But I'm still here. I can survive. That doesn't mean putting myself in obviously dangerous situations. I can be smart about this. And I can trust myself more. And maybe I'm afraid of how I'll behave. Because conflict can bring out the worst in me. And I don't like who I become. So I'm clearing that stuff that gets in the way. All that stuff that gets triggered in a conflict. Rather than avoiding conflict, I can clear this stuff that brings out the worst in me. And since everything is energy and everyone is connected, the more I clear that ugly stuff in me, the more I'm clearing it in other people too. And disagreements can become a lot more civil. Either way, I can handle it. I'm setting myself free to live life more fully. In body, mind, and spirit. Take a deep breath. And maybe there's some specific things that you might need to go in and tap on, maybe specific past conflicts, and clear that stuff where you can find yourself in a place of peace of mind. You know, finding that peace even when things are kind of chaotic around you. Thanks.